Okay, this is the painting we're doing today. I call it Farmhouse. It has very muted colors. You're going to hear my animals in the background because they're in here with me today. And basically you just need black and white and green, a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow. And with this painting, it's been requested that we have a red door. So we'll also put a little red in here. Acrylic paints, you need a 1-inch, a flat tip, 1/2 inch, and a pointed brush of some sort. Ta-da! Now, when I am doing a paint party or a paint event, I will have these all sitting inside the water cup, ready to go. I'll also have all of the paint underneath the easel ready to go, and a little chamois or a little rag ready to go. Sorry, my thing keeps moving. Let's see if I can get this right without making everybody sick. There we go. Let's try that, and I can see it moving again. It does not want to stay there. Hold on. Sorry about this. As I said, this isn't going to be the most professional video. Okay, stop moving. And there's my dog in the background. All right, there we go. That is a lot better. So with this painting, I start off with my background, which is just black and white at the top. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of black, a little bit of white. Of course, these are just acrylic paints. You don't need much. I'm also going to put the green on my plate because I'll be using that shortly. And a big brush. I'll move this guy up. And I'm painting on an old painting. I just covered it with gesso. And here we go. I'm just taking a scoop of my white, putting it over here, just a scoop of white, just a tad, just a tip of black on my brush. And I'm gonna mix. I needed a little more white until I get a light gray. I want it very, very light gray. If I need to use up all my white, I will. You use a lot of white and a tiny, tiny bit of black. So at the very top of this, I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way. And I really wanted it to be lighter than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all of this with this gray. But what I'm going to do when I need to refill is just paint with white. Back and forth to show that this is the sky and there's movement in the sky. All right, that was my little one yawning. Little one in size, not age. She's 15. So I'll just go back and forth. And the first part I did was that mix of the brown and white, and then it was too dark, so I just brown. Did I say brown? The black and white. And then it was too dark, so when I went to refill, I just used white and went back and forth. But you're still getting these variations of color in here, so you still have that dark, so it still looks like sky. And then, see, this keeps moving. Okay, and then I'm going to take that brush. I don't clean it, but I just dampen it in my water. I take the drips off on the side of the cup. Just going to do the tip of it in white. Now, this is how I make some of my clouds. You can make your clouds differently, but for this painting, there's a lot of impressionism involved. So I'm just going to do circles white on one side. I'm holding it parallel to the canvas, and I'm just kind of doing these little circles or half circles of just white. Yes, you're going to get some blending of the gray in there, and we use that for shadow. So all of my paintings, a lot of them you can do while it's still damp. If it dries too much, you can still do it. I just like how it blends. So all I'm doing are these little half circles. To give me the illusion of clouds in my background. I'm going to add just a little bit of white here and there that doesn't blend in, just to give it some reflection. Okay, so that's done. Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Okay. I am rinsing off my brush. I'm not totally cleaning it, but I'm rinsing off my brush. Taking the drips off on the side of my cup, and I'm grabbing some green. Now, a little green and white at the same time on my brush. And right down here, actually we're going to do this all the way down. We are going to take these two colors on our brush, and you can do it dark, you can do it light, it's however you like. In the original painting, it's very light, so I have a tiny bit of green and a lot of white on my brush. And just like the top part, if it gets too dark, I'm just going to primarily paint with white to blend it. And this is called blending right on your canvas, which I do a lot of because I find it to be easier for me as an artist. Do you see all these colors we're getting? All the natural reflection, because we're just painting with white into some areas. We're just painting with, and we're putting the green and the white on our brush when it gets too light. And so it's giving all of this variation of light on our canvas. I'm going to lift this. And again, if it gets too dark, just paint with white. If it gets too white, just paint with green, or I would suggest putting both colors on your brush at the same time. Oh, here's another thing. Some artists like to paint the sides. Some don't. It's just all up to you. I generally don't, because my work that I'm going to sell or that I'm going to hang up will always be framed. Yeah, I know I look crazy today. That's why I'm not in the shot. So we've got the bottom part done. And now I'm going to take that same brush and just a little bit of green. And it's going to be very damp. So green and a damp brush, but not dripping. Coming over here, and you are going to pull in some of your clouds because they're still wet. I'm just going to do the same kind of cloud thing with the very damp brush because I want a very light color. This is just kind of background bushes. You're going to pull in some of that gray, but it's background. I want it really light. Just going to be right in here. No exact shape. We're just kind of filling in over here. Somehow I'm getting brown on my brush, and that's okay. Don't care. But it's just kind of a same shape as these clouds, but you're going to take this whole corner here and fill it in. You're going to get different variations of green in here. I also want you to do this over here, but not so tall. Just kind of here, and I'm just going to go back and forth like this because I'm kind of sticking to the Bob Ross style here. Just whatever happens, happens, which is very impressionistic, by the way. Just kind of going back and forth like I'm coloring with a crayon. You can do the same thing over here if you want. It's hard for me from this angle. That's why I did kind of the circle movement. Okay, next, that gray we made, I'm going to get a little gray on that big brush still. We're continuing with this big brush and for quite a while. So right here where our bushes and our land meet, I'm just going to take it and kind of swipe it up. Come on, swipe it up. Just a couple little swipes here just to give it some dark. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I don't want to, but here we go. It's just to give it like there's dark grass here. We can do this corner, but we really don't have to because we're having a giant barn go right here. And then I want you to take just the tip of that brush. In that gray, but you're going to make that gray a little bit darker. So add a little black to it. So a tip of that brush in that gray, and about here, about an inch from your edge, and a little ways down into your ground, you're just going to draw a line up. Hopefully it's straighter than mine. If not, doesn't matter. And then underneath, same tip, I just want you to draw just a few kind of, I'm tapping and swiping. Just getting a little bit of, and then now I'm just tapping. A little bit of shadow under there. And keeping that on my brush, I'm going to pull in some green. I'm going to go back and forth like this. And it's going to have a lot more green on it, so it's going to be darker than our background. And so I'm just kind of doing this, back and forth. And I'm making a tree. I don't know if it's a happy little tree or not so happy tree. We'll find out when I'm done. And notice the shape is not perfect. This is background. But I have the brown in there. I've got the green in there. It's pretty. Okay, sticking with our tree, small brush. A little bit of white on that brush. Just going to add a little bit of reflection throughout my tree. All I'm doing is I'm sticking with the same pattern, the same way that my brush strokes are going, but I'm just adding a little bit of white in here so it looks like reflection. And then here, does that dry? Right down my tree, just a little bit. Now this is just the simple way of doing it without having to blend in and etc. so on. People, new artists, have a hard time with blending. So I want everyone to be successful. And we're going to start with the very beginners. So I'm just adding a little white on the top. I'm not really blending it in, but we need to have that reflection in there. Oh, shoot. There we go. Now you can see it. So what I did is I just used my small brush and added some reflection this way and up and down. Okay, my next thing is our barn. Our barn is fun. Our barn is not difficult. We're going to make a gray. So I did white, and I already have black on here. Same big brush. And we're going to, first thing we're going to do is get a bunch of white on our brush and a little bit of black. And we're going to make that the house that we used to make when we were in kindergarten. So I'm going to start about here. Let's start here. Let's do the whole bottom part. So I'll start here. What, a third of the way up. I'm going to draw a line across. Remember, this is an old barn. It does not have to be perfect. Then I'm going to take this line and draw it up this way and this line this way. Sorry, there was a B. Okay, I'm going to take this line and draw it this way. This line, draw it this way. Again, remember, does not have to be perfect. If you need to add, again, I switched to the large brush. If you need to add to this a little bit of water, go ahead and do that to your brush, but make sure to get the drips off on the side of your cup. Okay, now we're going to start here. We're going to draw a line down and a line down. This is just us kind of sketching it out for now. We don't have to be perfect yet. This is just a sketch. When we fill it in, we can make it perfect. Or not. Then we're going to find the center here, and we're going to draw a line down this way and a line down this way. Now, some will be wider, some will be sharper, some will be longer. It doesn't matter. Everybody's barn can be different. Mine looks like there's a windstorm because I'm painting kind of sideways. That's how I roll. Okay, now I'm going to take and dampen my brush, get the drips off. I don't know if you have to. If you already dampened, you probably don't need to. We're going to get a lot of white and a little bit of black on our brush. And I'm going to fill this in, this one this way. Try not to blend it. What I'm trying to do, and this is really dark, so a little white on top. This one, same way. So it's coming out darker than normal, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's still going to look really good. But I don't want you to blend it too much because I want to see the different shades of gray in here. Okay, next one. This part here, I'm going to go up. I just added white to my brush. If you want to, if it's too white, you can just add a little bit of black to your brush. This will be outlined, so if you go over the edge a little bit, that's okay. I'm a very free painter. It's warm in here, so my canvas is really soaking in this paint. So I had to dampen my brush again. Basically, anytime I do anything different, I just kind of explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. The reason why I'm going up and down here is I'm trying to show the different ways that the barn was built. So my wood's going to go, well, it's probably going to go up and down on this side, sideways on this side. I'm going to start here. Now that I have all of this in, I'm going to start here. I'm not adding anything to my brush, but I'm going to start here, and all I'm doing is taking my paint stroke and going across like this. I'm not blending. I am touching it so softly, because I'm adding a different grain to it. And I think with this one, I'm going to change it and have it go up and down. So once again, ever so softly, I'm just adding just the paint stroke. No paint, nothing like that. We're going to take that big brush and put it in our water for now. And we're going to take out that medium brush here. I took a little bit of the white off, water off, because it was too damp, but you can tap it on your chamois, or which is the little towel, or you can use your paint cup. I'm getting a different color gray on my brush, and right here in this corner, I don't care if it's lighter than the background or darker, I am adding a square. And again, nothing has to be perfect. Then I'm taking my paintbrush, I'm putting it in the black primarily. I do not clean it. And right here, and again, we're going to frame this so it doesn't have to be perfect. But up here, I'm going to draw a square, a rectangle, a big window or opening where they put the hay in. And out. Now see how, the reason why I didn't clean it is so that I would get these different, see the different colors that are going in there. It's blending right on our canvas. Okay. My client asked for a red door, so we're going to add a tiny bit of red. I forgot to shake it. There we go. Tiny bit of red. And, sorry, this thing keeps turning. So same brush, that medium brush. Red, and she wanted it a little bit, you know, kind of a brick red. But I'm going to try just the red first, and then I will blend on top of it if I have to, because this is still wet. Remember this line we drew up here? Well, that is the difference between the roof, the top part of our barn, and the lower part. So right in the middle, I'm going to leave maybe a 1/4 inch between these paints, these different paint strokes. These went up and down, these go side to side. So I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch up here. I am going to draw a big red barn door. I think I'm going to change my paint strokes to up and down. Now I want it to, if you want it brighter red, you can make it brighter red. If you want to make it darker red, just add a little bit of darker to it, like a black or a little more gray to it. I want mine to be a little bit muted because this is a farmhouse painting. And with your farmhouse paintings, everything is, the farmhouse colors right now, everything's pretty darn muted. Which it's just not my style. I like a lot of bright colors. I like a lot of natural wood. And I know that that the painted wood style is in right now. That white, very muted, no color. That's just my preference. I know that it's really in right now. So I've got a big red door. And I'm just cleaning my brush. Trying to avoid this meat bee. I don't even know what it's after. dive bomb in my head. Okay. Got that color, I've got that color. Cool. I'm gonna put this away and I'm just gonna put the medium one away. No, I'm not. I lied. I'm still using this one. And I'm just putting a little bit, she's fine, she just wants attention. I'm putting a little bit of white on this brush. Shh. I'm putting a little white on this brush, just on the tip, and very softly, I'm just every now and then just adding a little bit of white, like the paint is peeling off, throughout my whole painting. Remember, follow the way that your paint strokes are already going. So left to right on these. These will be up and down. Try not to get a pattern in there. Trust me, I know this looks funky now, but when we add our lines in here, they'll look like they're supposed to. Nice. I forgot my door. Using the same brush on your door. Same thing, very soft. Add a little red or a little white in there. And this we're gonna leave dark. Using the same brush. I put the tip of my brush in the white and a little bit of black. Same medium brush, just the tip though. And I'm going to follow my roof line. I'm gonna outline it. So I'll start out here a little bit, bring it up. Start here, bring it up. Just outlining. The reason, and the harder you push down, the bigger your line will be. The softer you push down, the smaller your line will be. And the reason why I get both of these colors on here is so that it's called blending right on our canvas. We are getting a little reflection and a little shadow in there. But we're going to continue to add that. Same thing here. A little black, a little white. I'm going to outline with this brush. My opening here. And my door frame. Sticking with that same brush on the outside here. I'm gonna make a line that comes down so that I get like a 2x4 here and on the side. All right, notice I left a little bit of overhang over here. And you can over here if you'd like to, you don't have to. Totally up to you. Now, if it blends into your background like mine is, I'm just gonna take a little white and that'll pull it forward. Okay, now for the fun stuff on the barn. We are switching to our baby brush. With our baby brush, I am putting just the tip of it in the black. And I'm going to start with the simple stuff. So I'm going to outline. And my outline does not have to be perfect. Outline here. We're going to come here, draw a line down. Where your paint strokes separate here, so remember some went up, some went across. We're going to start here and we are just going to draw our line across, separating our paint strokes. We start at the roof line, draw our line down. I know that's crooked. And over here, we will outline this 2x4. And then I want you to outline your roof line, top and bottom. So here's the top. This is a really bad angle for me, so yours will come out a lot better than mine, a lot straighter. Oops. If you're touching it really lightly and you start getting really thick lines, it just means you need to clean your brush and reload, because the paint goops on and sticks to this baby brush. It's actually my least favorite brush to use. Underneath. Notice my lines are not perfect. This is an old barn. I am not